guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be another interview video with a rapper. Today's video is going to be with Raps by SF. We're going to just go ahead, get right into this, and let him introduce himself. Alright guys, we got Raps by SF here. I'm going to just go ahead and let him introduce himself.
What's up? I'm Steve Fald, and I'm the owner and installer for my company, Raps by SF.
Sweet man. Thanks for coming on here today. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you taking your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invite, man. I was really surprised, surprised that people actually see. Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. So one of the questions one of my followers asked is, what made you start doing raps, and what made you fall in love with it? That's
a good question. Well, I think it started probably about 8-10 years ago now. I forget how old I am most of the time. But I started rapping right when the whole the Rob and Big on MTV, and how he had like the matte black Tahoe. Well, I had a Tahoe very similar to that, but it was painted. And long story short, the paint job doesn't last very long when it's a specialty paint like that. And I went and I got a new vehicle. I wanted the same look, but I didn't want to spend a fortune going to an auto body, yada, yada, yada. So I was a machinist at the time, and I, did a little research, and I stumbled upon, vinyl wrap. And, I hate to admit it, but I sat there for YouTube and kind of just watched videos left and right while my machine was running, and, I had downtime. And, I said, screw it. I bought a roll of material, and I sat in my boss's garage at the time, and it took me about a week after I got out of work every day, went back over there and wrapped my Tahoe. And that was about it for the most part. And my buddy came over and he helped me, because it was the front bumper. Like, I had an '08 Tahoe, and I don't know if anybody everybody knows the notorious Tahoe bumper. For so many recesses at the time, not knowing what I was doing, I was scared. And so I had my buddy come help me, and he kind of looked around the car, and he was a tuner kid in the tuning world. And he went around the car, and he just looked at it, and he's like, dude, this thing is wrapped better than the cars I just saw at SEMA. And I'm not even lying. My reply to him was, "What's SEMA?" Like, I had no idea. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I said, the color I picked was satin metallic gray by Tria 1080.
Oh, sweet.
And like I said, I had no idea what I was doing. But I did my truck. People saw it. Had to do a couple other cars. And just one thing led to another. And then, long story short, I ended my machining career. I went down to Oklahoma, not knowing what I was going to do. And I fell into a sign shop, and it just kind of, like a fish taking the water, it just made sense to me, made sense to how to sell it, how to install it, most importantly. And, I think I spent about a year in Oklahoma, met some cool people there, and basically, one of the shops was that I was interviewed at, they're like, yeah, it'd be really cool if you're certified. And so it basically led me to California. I put all my stuff in my truck, or my car at the time, and came out to California. So, and I got into it not knowing what it was, but then I shortly realized it's a really cool artistic thing to do, and that's kind of the way I see it. It's it's a very lucrative artistic art form. Yeah. And I just love it, just the creativity that you can get, and at the end of the day, it is just kind of like a big sticker, but just just the creativity behind it. And I even stand back and look at some of the cars and the front bumpers I've wrapped, and some of the projects I've done, and just kind of look back and be like, that's cool. It's a sticker,
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that everybody probably hates me saying it, but at the end of the day, it is just an over-engineered sticker, which takes skill to put on. Yeah. And
absolutely, so, that's true.
I still love it.
That's awesome. That's a good story. Another question that I have is your 5 most useful tools. If you were to say, be telling someone else that's just starting in the industry, what are the 5 first tools that you would tell them to buy?
Five first tools. Obviously, like a very good knife. I like the NT cutter, the plastic body one, the infamous, one used in all the TWS videos and stuff like that. I like that one a lot. A good squeegee, a micro squeegee.
Yep.
Those things are worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely.
And honestly, like a good blade disposal. I don't think there's enough like real safety in our industry, and like I can't stand it. Like just seeing broken blades on the ground. Like a couple incidents with that too. But yeah, for the most part, I think is that 4?
Yeah, I think that's 4.
Okay, and probably a wrap glove or knife with tape. I'd be a tie right there.
Those are both very awesome tools.
Knife with tape. Yeah, knife with tape. Just because, like, the more you use it, the better you get with it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. A glove you can get away with, but it's a good tool. So.
What's your favorite glove? What wrap glove do you use?
Right now I have the blue wrap glove. I think that one's by the wrap glove company.
Yeah.
I use that one, and then the Ghost glove. I like the Ghost, but it doesn't work too well on 3-inch 2080 if you don't take the cap off.
Okay.
So I have to go back to the regular gloves. But
Sweet. So would those fall in line with being your 5 favorite tools right now?
Probably, because most of the time, like everything that I keep in my belt, in my general tool bag is, generally speaking, everything that I can get away with installing, whether I'm mobile or here at my shop. Like, yeah, everything on my belt's usually, hands down, I can get the majority of the jobs done.
Sweet.
So,
most enjoyable wrap project?
Oh man, that's actually a really hard one. There's been a lot of them. So, I'll say that, and then I'll say I'd rather have a good wrap environment. I think that would be a better way to put it. Just having like a good wrap environment, honestly, and like good people around, obviously for good conversation, but at the same time, I'm not really, no offense to anyone, I'm not really there to converse, more or less, wrap the project or whatever. So just a good environment with the necessary space around the vehicle. Cleanliness is a huge one, and usually temperature controlled. If you're lucky, you can get temperature controlled. So
that's ideal.
Here in Southern California, very far and few between shops that are climate controlled out here. So that's a perk.
Okay. Do you do lots of mobile, or do you work mostly in your shop?
Right now, it's the way I structured myself and how I do things is any given month, like I have between 1 and 12 different wrap shops on my schedule.
Okay.
And I deal with a handful of private clients myself as well as I continue on. But I try to have fair prices and just structure it that way. I don't play favorites. First comes, first served. I'm just, a subcontractor. The shop just literally gives me the vinyl, gives me the car. And,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They leave me alone. I do my job and leave.
Very cool. Yeah, that's nice. That's because then you could get way more work that way, I think, right?
Well, yeah, but I do it just because I don't know. I feel like. I don't know if I can really slowly support myself working just at one shop. Yeah, because out here in Southern California, there's a lot of shops out here, and just let's face it, it's a dime a dozen. So I think a lot of shops have a lot of higher get rid of a lot of guys just because a lot of people jump in and out of it so frequently.
Okay.
So I think I like it easier than it's my schedule. I do enjoy working for myself too, so I get that asked a lot online. Is some people hit me up on Instagram and I just say, hey, where's your shop and your guys? Or, you and your guys need to come out and everything else. I'm like, oh, well, thank you, but it's just me. And they're like, oh, okay, well, shit. I'm like, yeah, so it's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I just like the different environments. I like working with everybody. so it makes it easier for me when I subcontract.
Yeah, that's cool. Makes it more interesting.
But I
I guess.
do have a handful of projects I take care of myself.
2 general tips for a beginner or someone just getting into the business, or even more if you have.
Just getting into it.
Or just getting into, or just thinking about
learn
getting.
Everything you can. What was that?
Like, yeah, 2 tips for someone that's just getting into it or thinking about getting into the business.
Let's see here. I think if you're getting into it, know what you want to do. And I say that by like kind of have a general audience and what you want to go after. Like, whether it be commercial, color change, or like a mixture of both. I think getting your audience correct is a huge part of it. And, and just dot your I's and cross your T's. And for someone as, I guess, an installer, I'd just be like, just posting, man. Like, don't worry, don't focus too much on like getting it done as getting it done correctly.
Yeah.
I'd rather have someone spend, like an extra hour or 2 doing it, but it's done correctly versus, the lick it and stick it mentality.
Yeah.
That, a lot of, So just take your time, learn the material. That's what I would say.
So lots of practice.
Yeah. So just work with it, man. It's I think it's definitely one of those industries where it helps a lot if you can get a lot of hands-on experience and just working with it. Whether you're wrapping a car or just grabbing a random object at the house, just working with it. And I don't know. A good one too is I think would probably be just get the one piece mentality out of your head. Like just like Mr. Pate says, like it's solid. It's not a liquid. There's only so much that a material like this can do. And I like to wrap for longevity.
Yep. As we all should.
Yeah, and some projects require certain finesse and stuff like that. But I'd rather have a customer call me back, bringing me another vehicle, than complaining and I have to fix my mistakes, which it happens. I'm not saying I'm perfect.
No, we all make mistakes, but
that's half the battle, man.
Okay, on that topic, what would be the recommended film that you would recommend a beginner to start with? Whether that be a brand or a series?
Not necessarily like a series. That's a hard question for me because I like all the films, and I say that's a hard question just because I feel like once you understand the film, it's like an open rule for all the films. Each film has a different pro and con to it.
Absolutely.
I kind of, depending on what project I have is depending on what film or brand of film that I'm using. So, but most of the time it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that 100%.
I think Avery is a pretty user-friendly one. 3M is right there in that ballpark too. Both the companies, they've been around for ages.
And when you're saying 3M, you're talking like 1080 or 2080.
I'm not excluding the commercial grade film either. I think both, all the companies, have great commercial film. That's a really hard one for me to pick, just because, again, each film has its own different pros and cons to it. So it's just understanding them and wrapping to the right project. So
sweet.
But yeah. What about you? What kind of film do you like using? Because you're located in Canada, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Really, the only film that I've used, I haven't done any color changes. Like I've told people before.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm what you would call new to the industry. I've done color change. I color changed my toolbox and some other stuff. But the main film I use for wraps is Arlon SLX Plus or SLX or SLX Plus. The first and only full wrap I've done was using SLX Plus, and that was for the. I love it. I absolutely love it. The original SLX had pretty much no initial tack. You needed to apply pressure and heat, right? Whereas the SLX Plus has a little bit more initial tack, which is way nicer because it actually stays down without heat when you're squeegeeing it. So I really like that aspect of it, and I'll continue using it. I love it.
Okay, nice. No, I played with that film too, and like I said, like I like all the commercial films almost better than I do the color change films. And I talked to a couple of reps, and I just told them, I was like, if you just bumped your adhesive up a little bit on your color change, I think you really have the market, And because like I'm comparing it to the commercial film,
yeah.
And like I said, so it's night and day.
The only issue I ran into is we saturate our film like crazy to get the best print possible. So what Lee did with the print quality was completely garbage in our standards, at least, with Arlon's print profile for the SLX Plus. So he tweaked it drastically, and so I had way more saturation in the film, or in the ink in the film, and therefore I didn't have near the air release that I should have had. So that made installing a lot more difficult.
Right now I'm a real big fan of Orful.
Okay.
Commercial. Yeah, like I really like Arlon. I was fortunate enough I got to go to the Arlon factory. It is out here in Southern California, and I got to take a tour of their factory, and it's really cool how the film is made, and just to get to see this behind the scenes stuff, it's very cool. I wish they'd have more tours like that. I wish more companies would offer tours.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. And it was cool. I get to saw how the stuff that I used every day, how it was made. But like I said, the film I'm hooked on right now is the Orful. I think it's like I don't even want to remember the number. I don't want to butcher it. So there's so many different numbers. Like 1080 this and IJ818 that.
Yeah, they're hard to remember.
Yeah, but they all have their different purposes. But yeah, like I enjoy going to the classes myself, and that's the other thing too that I would recommend anybody, just even people like in the industry, is just go to the classes. Like you don't have to take the certification. I like going and just learning about it.
You can.
There is a science behind it.
Yep.
I think it's overlooked, but once you learn the science to it, it's really cool stuff. And like I said, like I still get impressed with it every time. So it's fun.
You can never learn enough. Like you can always learn new tips, tricks, techniques from any other installer, right? So going to these classes, even if you're not going for the certificate, go to just learn from other guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think that's half the reason why I like working the way that I do, because it does give me that opportunity where I can work with a bunch of other shops, see how they run and operate, get it, because dude, honestly, like that's half how I learn. Like I'm a visual learner myself.
Yeah. So, same here.
Yeah, the new YouTube market is fantastic for that, but at the end of the day, you just got to get out there and do it. And so if there's like an older guy that's been rapping longer than me, I just like attach myself to their hip and teach me what you know, because like this industry is constantly evolving in just the short amount of time that I've been in it. It's just tremendously evolved, and I just see it doing a lot of cooler, neater, funner things, and we got to get it out to the masses.
That's awesome. Great. I think we're gonna wrap that up right there, if that's cool with you.
Awesome.
Think we're running around that 20-minute mark, so I think that's a pretty decent video.
Hey, that's awesome. So I'm glad that we were able to chat, and thank you again for inviting me, man.
Not a problem, man. Thank you for coming on here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again.
All right, so that's the interview. I think this one was great. Well, both the other ones that I've done in the past, this is number 3, so both the other ones, I can say that. They were good. I think I personally am just getting a lot better at interviewing, even just with having done 2, well now 3, because we just finished this one. let me know what you guys think. Comment down below what you guys think, if you guys learned anything, if you guys got anything out of it, or if it was just good content to consume. If you guys did enjoy it, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. The like button? Yeah, do that too. Hit both of those buttons, and then we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for your support. Have a great day. Peace.